Here to weigh in for more is Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. Stephen, thank you for joining us tonight. The president was not happy today, no doubt about it. Pretty harsh words for the members of the court who did not vote to uphold these tariffs. And now J.B. Pritzker, though, is pretty happy because he thinks now the federal government should return $1,700 per Illinois family because the tariffs were struck down.
Well, Governor Pritzker is not only economically illiterate, historically illiterate, and probably functionally illiterate, but he is also somebody whose every action and policy is designed to hurt and betray America. Let's be very clear about this, Laura. President Trump got elected in large part to bring back our supply chains, reshore our manufacturing base, bring back our jobs from overseas. Over the last year, his historic program of tariffs has done exactly that. That's why we've seen record job growth, record wage growth, and record reshoring of vital manufacturing jobs. Under Biden, under the Democrats, for 4 years, we saw back-breaking, double-digit, record-setting inflation, costing Americans thousands of dollars a year. Many Americans tens of thousands of dollars a year. That's what Pritzker supported. President Trump has brought inflation down to 1.4%, an ideal benchmark rate according to economists. So that's the comparison point here. But let's talk about the Supreme Court for a second. Justice Thomas said so brilliantly and eloquently, the language of the statute is clear. Under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the president has the authority to regulate foreign trade. And going back to the founding of our country, the term regulate has always meant and included the power to levy duties. But here's the good news, Laura. As cowardly, as horrendous as the Supreme Court ruling was, as poorly as it reflects on John Roberts' court and the continued torturing of our statutes and our Constitution, here's the good news. The court also affirmed the president has the authority under Section 301, Section 232, Section 122, Section 338, and many other provisions of federal law that the president can levy tariffs on foreign nations. So his program will not only be fully reconstituted, but it will be expanded. And one more point, Laura. The Supreme Court also affirmed that under IEEPA, the president has authority to restrict, impede, deny, license, or even fully embargo any foreign trade. So the net result of all this is we're going to keep and grow the tariffs to bring back American manufacturing, which keeps prices low by incentivizing products to be made here in America. But it also means that President Trump has even more tools when it comes to dealing with foreign countries that undermine our security.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Supreme Court had no problem, trying to find the right language, the ambiguous language to justify Obamacare. I think Kavanaugh pointed that out in his dissent. And so, but now this is some tortured interpretation of this statute when historically this has always been a prerogative of the president and Congress, obviously, if Congress actually had the guts to do this, which we know it does not, Stephen.
Right, but that is why Congress gave this authority to the president, because you cannot separate out the regulation of trade with foreign countries from the conduct of our foreign policy. That's why Congress enacted the International Emergency Economic Powers Act in the first place. And again, as Justice Thomas pointed out in his dissent, it's the same basic statutory construction that Nixon used in his day to levy tariffs. Yeah. And nobody at the time questioned the meaning of those words. So again, as you mentioned, the Supreme Court is torturing the plain meaning of the statute. It's a shameful ruling. It's a cowardly ruling. But the good news here, Laura, is that President Trump, as he said today, has the full authority affirmed by the Supreme Court to reinstitute and expand the tariff program to keep the cost of living low, to keep jobs flooding back to America, and to protect our core national security. And that's what really matters at the end of the day.
Stephen, Democrats, media types are saying the president is endangering the lives of Supreme Court justices by the language he used to describe them today. They should be ashamed of themselves, embarrassments. Just, I don't know if he used the word disgrace, but and that was a big topic of conversation, that this is going to increase the threats against justices. To that, you say?
Chuck Schumer infamously stood in front of the Supreme Court and issued a direct threat to our justices. After that threat was issued, we saw assassination attempts and violence against our justices. We saw the Merrick Garland Justice Department refuse to stop and prosecute and disband the groups that were illegally demonstrating outside the homes of conservative Supreme Court justices in violation of federal law. It is against federal law to illegally demonstrate outside of the home of a judge to try to influence a ruling. It's the same group of people who have fanned the flames of assassination all over this country. This administration under President Trump has moved heaven and earth to find the domestic extremists in this country who are trying to kidnap, murder, and assassinate and bring them to justice, while the left, being good communists, has done everything in their power to foment violence and foment hatred and foment unrest. You will never get a cleaner contrast. You want safe streets, you want criminals behind bars, you want to support the police, you want to support law enforcement, that's President Trump. The Democrats are the party of violence. President Trump is the president of law, order, and safety.
Stephen, what a day. I thought it was predictable ruling by the court. I was hoping for otherwise, but it really didn't surprise me. And push came to shove. But here come to 302, 223, 122. We're going to have a lot of tariffs coming for us. It's going to take.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.